Welcome back to the fields of Perthshire in bonny Scotland. Just two of us today. You've got little Albert on the left hand side there, and myself, Albert on the AT Pro International, and me on the XP DEUS II. And I'm going back with program 16, which is the JMAC DP program, the Deep program. So this is the one that I've been playing around with. We're back from Detectival. This is my first outing since Detectival. I'm delighted to report that the van got recovered back to Scotland on the Monday morning. The mechanic was able to work on it Monday all morning and got it back to me on Monday afternoon. So crisis averted. Still waiting to find out how much it's going to cost to get the van recovered. 900-mile round trip for the recovery company from the almost London all the way back to where I live and back to there again. So happy days. We'll wait and see what comes. But we had a fantastic time at Detectival, bar the disaster of the van, and we're back on the field where I got those 2 bits of silver last week before Detectival. Some people asking if I can put up the details of this program that I've put in, this JMAC program that I'm using just now. The answer is not yet. I will, don't worry, I'll share it when I can, but I'm still playing about with it at the moment, so I'm tweaking different things just to see how it works out. But rest assured, once I get the opportunity and I've got something finessed, then I'll put it up for you. And in the meantime, let's see how we get on. It's a little bit blowy, but we've got high hopes. Literally 10 seconds in, first signal 64, pretty consistent solid signal. To be honest, I expected a bit of lead, and we got this. For a wee second my heart skipped a jump, skipped a beat. I thought it was going to be a coin, however it's not. It's a Tombac button. Tombac is a mixture of zinc and arsenic, copper as well, if I remember rightly, and this is probably from the Georgian period, so I'm guessing probably George III, 1760, 1820 kind of era. Very chunky button, very heavy, but it's a start, it's a relic, and hopefully more to come. I'm kind of limiting the filming just to try and protect myself from the wind, but I think we've got a relic on the second hole. 2 minutes in, signal number 2 came through as a solid 86, and what is this? What is that? It's bronze, very heavy. As I say, it was an ear-blowing signal. Could it be a pot leg that's been bent, or could it be... it's not a brooch, that's for sure, it's too heavy. Right, let me give this a wee rub up off camera, see if we can get any decoration on it. Okay, I'm going to rely on all of you to try and identify this. So it's got a flat piece here, as if it's been connected to something. It's got a very smooth, almost like a foot on the bottom, and I'm not convinced it's always been that shape. Maybe it's been bent in the middle, but it's very smooth. It's made of bronze, it's very heavy, and it looks pretty old as well. I mean, I'm inclined to say it's a pot leg off of a little vessel, and it would have been like that, but it would have been straighter, and that is the bottom of the vessel that it's snapped off of, like a sort of a bowl shape, and this is one of the legs. What do you reckon to that? And if it is a pot leg, well, it could be post-medieval, but it could be medieval as well, so we could be talking about something that's 4, 5, 6, 800 years old, give or take. Let me know in the comments below. Pretty happy with that. I'm literally 3 minutes in, and I've had 3 good finds. Well, I think this is the third find right here. See that circular shape? Could be a coin. It came through an 87, solid signal, and let's have a look. It's a bit heavy for a coin. It's a little bit chunky for a coin. Well, for a modern coin anyway, it is. But not sure on that one. It could actually be a weight Right, I'll give this a wee rub up off camera and get back to you because I don't have my harness. I said it's my third signal. It's actually my third good signal. I've actually had 5 signals. I got two moo tubes as well, which I will spare you from seeing. Little ointment tubes, but this here, I think this could be a weight. It's slightly domed on one side. It's possibly even a coin weight, I'm not sure. It's definitely not a button. It's too big, it's too heavy. It's made of copper, I think. Copper alloy. The bendy thumb has been all over it, but I can't see any detail. Weight wise, probably weighs about, I don't know, maybe 1/3 of an ounce. 10 grams, something like that. 10 grams to half an ounce, something along those lines. So if you know, let me know in the comments below. But looks like it's got a bit of age to it. So I'm guessing it's probably sometime, certainly could be a few hundred years old, but could be even older. Now this one came through at 79 to 82. I was maybe expecting not lead, but it is lead. A great big lump of lead. Probably just a scrap of old roofing lead or such like. But I detected this field 15 to 20 years ago using my old White's DFX, and I swear I spent a few hours on it, or a few days on it should I say, for a few hours each time, and I found almost nothing whatsoever. In the space of 5 minutes I've dug half a dozen holes, 7 holes, and the other day we got 2 silver and multiple coins and relics. So I don't know if I had my DFX turned on or if the old XP DEUS II is a massive advancement based on what I had before, but either way it's looking promising. And that is another very good sign, because that is another permission that I have, and that tractor is out rolling rapeseed. Rapeseed's got a really horrible big stalk on it, basically like a forest after they harvest the field, and it's impossible to detect on. But that is great news, because he's basically flattening it like a pancake, ready for us to go out and detect on. And that field has already produced a few hammered coins, so hopefully more to come and even more land to detect on this winter. I am now at an end of the field that's got quite a few trees, so as you can see by the plants, I'm out the wind, and we've got a stonker here. Solid 91, 92, and I tell you what, that could well be silver. Only one way to find out. It's out relatively shallow, which is maybe why it gave such a good readout. Do you see that? That is round and very much like a coin. And let's get a wee clod shot. Got a wee imprint, not really. But that, ladies and gents, looks like a coin all day long. And it is. Don't think there's any shank on there. Nope. Could be a wee Georgian coin, because it's got that kind of look to it. I would guess George the III. But let me dry it out, give it a wee gentle clean up, and see if we've got any detail on it. Be back to you in a minute. Oh, that's a shame. It's pretty toasted. However, I think that's probably the tail side, the reverse, and I think you can just make out a head in the centre there. Look into the right hand side. What do you reckon? And if that's the case, then I'd make a guess it's probably George the III. It's fairly round, his coins normally were, and it's a fairly consistent thickness. So I would guess George the III, 1760 to 1820, give or take. Well, not give or take, that's when he ruled. And of course, assuming that it is George the III, but I think it is. And yeah, well, that's 10 minutes in, and you know, 4 pretty reasonable finds to start with, including 1 coin. catch up with Albert. There's the extent of his finds. Looks like a little tag off of a cow or a sheep. A little rivet or button. Another little button. 4-holed. It's probably got writing on it. Can't see anything obvious, but might have a maker on there somewhere. And the key to someone's front door. So there you go, he's won a house. Albert's got himself a digger with the AT Pro International from Garrett. It's coming through on his at a 7980. It's coming through at an 8990 on mine. I reckon it's either aluminum or a coin. Albert's insistent it's solid silver. I can actually see some greenery. Oh no, it's not. I thought that was it right there. So it's still in the ground. So we thought we'd do a wee live dig to embarrass Albert, because he's 100% certain this is a silver coin. Whatever it is, seems to be fairly deep. Oh, it's out the hole. Oh, it's a thingy. I think that is what we call tractor in the business. Looks like a cover or a fitting of some description. Oh well, so much for silver, Albert. I've got an ear blowing 94. Right about there, maybe the other half of Albert's thingamajiggy. I'm not sure what it is, but it's big and it's copper and it's got this dimple, this line on the top, this recess. Maybe the world's biggest thimble. I'm not really sure, but I think it's going to be tractor and it's going to be junk. Oh well. I'm back into the full-blown wind, and solid 70 has turned up this little piece of lead, quite thin, but you can see 3 distinct sides to it, and then it's snapped off or broken off of something on this end here. Not sure what it is though. It's clearly had a function, but I just don't know what. Can't see any obvious markings on it. A bit rough on one side, a bit smoother on the other, but technically junk. A solid 83 produces this, which seems to have a bit of a hollow back. I think it might be the cover for a keyhole, for the front door of a key. It would sort of pivot to the side to stop water, debris getting in. Looks like it's got a little fix in there where it would attach to the door. But yeah, I think that's what that is. Someone's brought an old door out into the field to set fire to. And also, I've been thinking, I showed this to Albert, this big lump of bronze, and he agrees. It looks very bronzish and very old. He suggested could it even be a handle for some sort of cup or something like that. Not so sure. Did they have cups in the Bronze Age with handles? Or cups made of bronze? But the question is it Bronze Age? That was something that I didn't think about, I don't think at least, because what I'm forgetting is on the edge of this field there was a Bronze Age burial found back in the 1950s, and also on the field next door there is a scheduled ancient monument which is a Bronze Age houses into the beginning of the early Iron Age. So what do you think? I'm intrigued. Again, let me know in the comments below. Certainly looks nice and old, and it's very nice and smooth on this inside edge. I had a screaming 89 there, a couple of spadefulls down, and something circular has popped out. Do you see it just there? It's either a button or it's a coin. I think it's a button. It is a button, but it could be a military button because it's got that dome shape to it, and I think it is. So I'll give this a wee clean up off camera, and with a bit of luck we've got a regimental badge on here. Let's see what we get. Okay, we have got a military badge, first one I've had for a while, and it's not in too bad a condition. I can make out some lettering around the side which says, I think, the Royal Highlanders, and then at the bottom the Black Watch, which is the sort of local regiment to this area. You've got this insignia in the centre, and right in the middle you've got a cross with a figure. There's a head there above it, and that is St Andrew, our patron saint of Scotland. He was one of the apostles of Jesus. He was crucified in Greece, in modern day Greece, a place called Patras, by the Romans in 60 AD, and he refused to be crucified on a cross like Jesus, so he had the Romans turn the cross to an angle, an X. I don't know quite how you bargain your crucifixion with the Romans, but he appears to have done it. And later he was sanctified. He became Saint Andrew after his death, and his relics were taken by a man called Saint Regulus, and they were taken to the edge of the known world, which incidentally was Scotland. A little village called Kilrymont. He ran ashore, and that village changed its name to St Andrews, and the relics of St Andrews were kept in a church. And St Andrews today is on the east coast in the Kingdom of Fife, and it's home to St Andrew's Cathedral, which was completely destroyed during the Reformation. St Andrews, or St Andrew, is our patron saint of Scotland. He was the brother of St Peter, if I remember rightly. And St Andrews is also the home of golf, with a famous old course. So there you go, nice little item with a nice history attached to it. There endeth the lesson. Oh, and date-wise, I'm guessing it's probably World War I, which would be 1914 to 1918, but it could be World War II, which would be 1939 to 45. And why is it in a field? Because army surplus jackets were sold off cheap to farmers and farm labourers, and they often wore them in the fields. Another weird lump of bronze, very heavy. It's almost circular, but it's sort of dome shape. It's got a kind of band around the outside edge, and on the other side looks like it's got like a central circle. It's almost like a toggle or a button, but as I say, it's bronze. It's very, very heavy. Almost looks like it's been set on fire, but maybe it's just the way it's corroded in the ground. But again, I'm unsure on that one. Could it be something old, or is it just junk? Let me know in the comments below. But when something's made of bronze, generally it's pretty good. So who knows? Albert is on the silver. It's well worn, but they all count. Basically can't see anything on the reverse. However, on the other side, if I tilt the angle right, you can just make out the figure of what I think is Queen Victoria, looking to the left hand side with her young head, or bun head, because she's got a big hair bun at the back of it. That's why I think it's Victoria. I don't know of anyone else who's got any men that have got a top knot. But yeah, Victoria. I think it's either a sixpence or a shilling. You can just make out a few letters on the top, but I can't actually read it, but it will probably say something along the lines of Victoria de Gracia, Britanniarium, or Britannia, something along those lines. Probably throw a wee Regina in there as well for Queen. And date wise, I think she was on the throne from 1837 to 1901, and I'm guessing this is probably from the sort of 1830s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and then I think the coins changed to a different portrait. It's a silver coin, and I'd guess, looking at the size of it, it's probably a sixpence, but it could be a shilling, which would be 12 pence, I think. So it's still a good find, and it's a piece of silver. Albert reckons he's got himself a hammered coin. Moment of truth. Wouldn't want him to embarrass himself in front of millions of viewers. Sounds like cack to me.
Sounds like iron to me as well.
Sounds like iron to Albert. It's an iron hammered coin. They never became very popular. It's in his hand. Oh, I think that's it. And it's a piece of lead. Maybe a bullet that's flattened.
It's like it.
Yeah, might be. Might be a bullet that's flattened, but there you go. I was just about to give him back his silver coin when he got that signal. But that is going to be it for today. That is the extent of today's finds. Pretty chuffed with what I managed to get, to be honest. Not bad at all. Little handful of the better stuff there. And I'd say the two... Oh, dropped something. Shock horror. I'd say the two star finds for me are the Black Watch button, which you can see there, with St Andrew, our patron saint, in the middle, and also this curious piece of bronze, which really interests me. I would love to know what that is and how old it is, but hopefully some of you wily-eyed viewers can make your suggestions. Okay, so thank you for watching. Finished up for the day. It's been quite successful, and if you don't already, then give us a subscribe, give me a subscribe, and hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment, and hopefully we'll see you on the next dig. Thanks for watching.